Alright, buckle up, because Chapter 1 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry throws you straight into 1930s Mississippi, where life is about as chill as a ranked match full of toxic players. It's the Great Depression, racism's everywhere, and the Logan family? They're out here trying to keep their heads above water while holding onto their land like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. So, meet Cassie Logan, our narrator and the queen of calling out nonsense. She's got that big sister energy but isn't afraid to throw shade when people act dumb. Right off the bat, we've got her rolling to school with her brothers, Stacy, the oldest and trying way too hard to act grown, Christopher John, the chubby little peacekeeper who's basically here for snacks and vibes, and little man, the youngest, who's a neat freak with zero tolerance for dirt or disrespect. They're like the OG squad, ready to face another day of surviving both school and life in the Jim Crow South. The vibe? Well, let's just say it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows. The Logan kids have to walk to their school, a rundown building for black children, while the white kids get to ride a shiny school bus that practically mocks them by splashing mud everywhere. Little man, in his perfectly ironed clothes, gets hit by the splash zone and is fuming. He's like, oh no, not today, but Cassie's all, just deal, it's how it is. You can tell little man's not about to let the system win, though, and honestly, good for him. When they finally get to school, the drama keeps rolling. The kids are hyped to get new textbooks, but plot twist, these aren't new books. They're cast-offs from the white schools, all beat up and labeled with racist nonsense in the inside covers. Little man straight up refuses to take one, and Stacy's trying to play peacemaker, but Cassie's with her little brother on this one. Their teacher, Miss Crocker, is like, y'all better stop complaining and take what you're given. Little man's face is all bet, but you can tell this isn't over for him. Meanwhile, Mama Logan steps in to handle the situation, and she's a whole mood. She doesn't yell or flip out, she just calmly pastes over the offensive labels in the books, sending a loud and clear message without saying a word. Mama's got that quiet storm energy, and you can tell she's not about to let her kids grow up thinking they're any less worthy than anyone else. Cassie's watching all this and taking notes, realizing her family's got a quiet kind of power that's all about standing up for what's right without losing your cool. Back at home, we get a peek at Logan family life, and let me tell you, this crew is holding it together with love, land, and sheer determination. Their land is everything, it's like their version of a gaming server they refuse to lose, no matter how many trolls show up. They're one of the only black families in the area that owns their own land, and that makes them a target. But Papa Logan and Big Ma, their grandma and the real MVP, aren't letting anyone mess with it. Papa's not home much, though, he's working on the railroad far away to make ends meet, and it's tough. The family misses him, but they understand why he's doing it. Plus, they've got help from Mr. Morrison, this big, quiet guy Papa sent to stay with them. Mr. Morrison's built like a tank and doesn't say much, but when he does, you listen. He's basically their human shield against whatever trouble might come their way, and Cassie's both impressed and a little wary of him. The chapter ends with the Logan kids plotting revenge against the school bus that keeps messing with them. Little man's still mad about the mud, and honestly, same. They're out here scheming like it's a Stranger Things episode, and you can't help but root for them. The Logan kids might be young, but they've got grit and smarts, and they're not about to let the world walk all over them. So, yeah, Chapter 1 sets the stage for a story that's equal parts heart and heat. It's about family, resilience, and calling out injustice, all while navigating a world that's trying to stack the odds against you. Cassie's voice keeps it real, and the Logan family's strength feels like something you'd want on your own team. It's not an easy world to live in, but the Logans? They're built different, and they're ready to fight for what's theirs. Stay tuned, things are just getting started. Alright, Chapters 2 and 3 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry are where things really start to heat up, like when your favorite game suddenly throws in a boss fight you weren't ready for. The stakes get higher, the tension gets thicker, and the Logan family? They're hanging tough, but you can feel the storm brewing. So, picture this, it's late one night, and Cassie's half asleep when Papa rolls in from his job on the railroad. Instant mood shift. Papa's got that serious business energy, and he didn't come back alone, he's brought Mr. Morrison with him, this dude built like a character straight out of Attack on Titan. Papa explains that Mr. Morrison's here to help out, and not just with farm stuff. There's been trouble in the area, some real shady, violent vibes, and Papa's like, we're not taking chances. Cassie's trying to piece it all together, but you can tell there's a lot being left unsaid. Flash forward, and it's Sunday, so you know what that means, church and gossip. Everyone's buzzing about something called the burnings. Turns out, a local black family, the Berries, got attacked by a mob of white men, and the details are horrific. Cassie's trying to wrap her head around this next-level cruelty, and you can feel her innocence cracking a little. Big Ma tries to keep things light by taking the kids to Strawberry, the nearby town, to sell goods, but let's be real, there's no escaping the heavy vibes hanging over everything. Meanwhile, back at school, the Logan kids are on their Avengers-level revenge arc against the school bus. Remember how that shiny yellow bully kept splashing them with mud? Yeah, it's payback time. Cassie, Stacy, Little Man, and Christopher John hatch a plan so slick, even Light Yagami would be impressed. They dig this massive trench in the road and fill it with water, all while keeping it low-key so no one snitches. When the bus comes barreling down the road, it hits the trap and gets totally wrecked. Like, GG, bus, it's game over. The Logan kids are celebrating like they just unlocked a secret level. But of course, their win comes with a side of anxiety. That night, the whole family is on edge because word's spreading about how the bus got trashed. Racism being what it is, you know it doesn't take much for white folks to come looking for someone to blame. The kids stay quiet about their involvement, but the tension? Through the roof. They're peeking out windows and jumping at every noise, convinced the clan or some mob is going to show up. Cassie's heart is basically doing a speedrun. Turns out, a mob does roll through, but they head for another family's place instead. The Logans are safe for now, but the message is clear, this isn't just about pranks and paybacks anymore. The world Cassie's living in is full of real danger, and even something as simple as walking to school can escalate into a life-or-death situation. It's heavy, but it's also making Cassie and her brothers tougher and smarter. By the end of these chapters, you can tell the Logan family isn't just surviving, they're strategizing. Papa, Mama, Big Ma, and even Mr. Morrison are all about protecting their land and their kids, but they know the odds are stacked against them. Cassie's learning fast that life's not fair, but she's also realizing that her family's strength is in how they stick together, no matter what. So yeah, these chapters are a mix of clever kid shenanigans and hard reality checks. The Logans are out here playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers, but the game is dangerous, and the stakes are only going to get higher. Stay tuned, it's about to get even more intense. Alright, Chapter 4 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry is where things really hit different. Drama's brewing like a pot of tea on high heat, and Cassie's getting front row seats to the mess. Strap in, because this chapter's got betrayal, shady deals, and a whole lot of oh no they didn't moments. First off, Stacy, Cassie's older brother, is going through it. Imagine trying to be the mature, responsible one while everything around you is just straight up chaos. At school, Stacy's teacher, Mr. Logan, yes, they're related, catches him with a cheat sheet during a test. Except it's not even his cheat sheet, it's that snake in the grass. TJ straight up set Stacy up, sliding him the paper mid-test, and Stacy got caught holding the bag. Stacy doesn't snitch, though, because Logan loyalty runs deep, but you know he's boiling inside. After school, Stacy's like, alright, TJ, let's settle this. They throw hands behind the barn, and it's not exactly a casual sparring match, it's more like a whole MMA showdown. Cassie and the squad are there hyping it up, but honestly? TJ deserved every punch. That dude's got more red flags than a toxic anime rival. When it's all over, Stacy's still heated, but TJ slinks off like the little weasel he is, already scheming his next move. Meanwhile, Papa's back with Mr. Morrison, and things are about to get real. Papa's been working far away to keep the family afloat, but every time he comes home, he's got this intense, quiet energy that screams, I know stuff you don't know. He pulls Stacy aside for one of those deep dad talks, laying down the law about loyalty and responsibility. Stacy's trying to process it all, but it's clear Papa's not just talking about family drama, he's prepping Stacy for the bigger battles they're all facing. Now, here's where things get extra shady. The Logan kids find out that TJ's been hanging out at the Wallace store, a place their parents explicitly told them to avoid. The Wallaces are bad news, think of them as the final boss of racist, small-town bullies. But TJ? He's out there chilling, running his mouth, and acting like he owns the place. Cassie's like, are you serious, bro? But TJ doesn't care. He's all about that fast life, even if it's obviously leading him straight to trouble. Meanwhile, back at the Logan household, Mama Logan's got a plan. She's tired of the Wallaces getting away with everything, so she starts spreading the word to other black families, boycott the Wallace store and shop elsewhere, even if it's inconvenient. It's a bold move, but you can feel the tension building. Not everyone's on board, some folks are scared of rocking the boat, but Mama's determined. She's like the ultimate tactician, playing the long game and hoping to chip away at the Wallaces' power. The chapter ends with Cassie piecing together just how dangerous her world really is. It's not just about schoolyard fights or annoying friends, it's about survival in a system that's rigged against her and her family. But the Logans? They're fighters, and even with snakes like TJ and threats like the Wallaces, they're not backing down anytime soon. So yeah, Chapter 4 is a whole mood, messy, tense, and full of life lessons wrapped in drama. Stacy's learning the hard way that not everyone's your friend, TJ's proving he's the king of bad decisions, and Cassie's soaking it all in, realizing her family's fight is way bigger than she thought. It's a lot to handle, but the Logans are built for this. Alright, let's dive into Chapters 5 and 6 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, because the tea is piping hot and the vibes are as messy as a group chat after someone leaks screenshots. Cassie Logan is learning some hardcore life lessons out here, and let's just say, not everyone's playing nice. It all starts with a trip to Strawberry, this small town where things are as dry and shady as a bad Reddit post. Cassie's hyped to go because it feels like a big deal, but her excitement gets a reality check real quick. First off, the market isn't all it's cracked up to be. Big Ma's trying to sell their goods, but she has to set up in the back corner, away from the main action, because racism. Cassie's already side-eyeing this nonsense like, what kind of uneven playing field is this? Then we meet Mr. Barnett, the store owner who's giving serious I'm the villain in this arc energy. Cassie and Stacy are running errands for Big Ma when they stop at his store, but Barnett decides to serve every white customer in the shop first, even the ones who came in after them. Cassie's not here for it. She's like, yo, we've been waiting forever, but Barnett hits her with the know your place speech, and it's straight up degrading. Cassie's fuming, but Stacy tries to keep her calm, knowing this isn't a fight they can win. But Cassie? Oh, she's not letting this go. She's already feeling some type of way when Lillian Jean Sims, the queen of privilege and pettiness, bumps into her outside. Lillian Jean demands that Cassie apologize for her existence, basically, and when Cassie refuses, Lily and Jean's dad grabs Cassie and forces her into the street. Cassie's stunned, humiliated, and furious, but Big Ma steps in, tells Cassie to apologize, and ushers her away. Cassie's like, why didn't you back me up? But Big Ma's face says it all. In this world, safety sometimes means swallowing your pride. Back at home, Cassie's still stewing. She's replaying everything in her head, and the unfairness of it all is hitting her like a bad respawn point. But before she can process, more drama drops. TJ, the human embodiment of bad vibes, shows up to stir the pot. He's bragging about some test answers he got, acting like he's got life all figured out, and Stacy's done with him. Their friendship's on thin ice, but TJ's too self-absorbed to notice. Fast forward to chapter 6, and it's family drama time. Papa's back, and his energy is like a shield for the Logans, calm but unshakable. He's brought in reinforcements too, Mr. Morrison. If this were an RPG, Mr. Morrison's the tank you call in when the boss fight's too intense. He's quiet but always watching, like he knows something's about to go down. The family's feeling the heat from the Wallace store boycott. Remember how Mama was rallying people to stop shopping there? Well, the Wallaces are big mad about it, and they're not shy about throwing threats around. Papa and Mama stay strong, though, teaching the kids that standing up for what's right doesn't come without risks. Cassie's soaking all this in, trying to figure out how to balance her anger with the harsh reality she's living in. Then we get a little moment of levity, or at least, we think we do. Uncle Hammer rolls into town, and let me tell you, this guy's a whole vibe. He's flashy, confident, and driving this sleek silver car that's got everyone talking. When he pulls up, it's like the Logans just got a power-up. Uncle Hammer's not about playing it safe, he's about flexing and letting people know the Logans aren't here to be pushed around. But Uncle Hammer's attitude? It's a double-edged sword. When he hears what happened to Cassie and Strawberry, he's ready to throw hands, or maybe run someone over with his car. Papa has to step in and talk him down, explaining that fighting fire with fire might feel good in the moment, but it can bring down a whole lot of heat they can't afford. Uncle Hammer backs off, but you can tell he's still simmering. The chapter wraps up with a bittersweet moment. Uncle Hammer sells his car to help the family pay their mortgage. It's a huge sacrifice, and it shows just how deep family loyalty runs for the Logans. Cassie's watching all of this unfold, and you can feel her growing up in real time. She's learning that strength isn't just about standing your ground, it's about knowing when to stand together and when to play the long game. So yeah, these chapters hit hard. Cassie's realizing that the world isn't fair, but her family's resilience is giving her the tools to navigate it. Between TJ's antics, the Wallace's threats, and Uncle Hammer's fiery spirit, the stakes are climbing higher and higher. The Logans aren't backing down, though, and you can't help but root for them as they fight to keep their dignity, their land, and their family intact. Alright, so here's the tea on Chapter 7 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. The Logan fam is still riding the drama train, and this chapter is stacked with vibes, secrets, and straight-up family bonds that hit deeper than a plot twist in Attack on Titan. Picture it, it's all about loyalty, survival, and holding your ground when the game feels rigged against you. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty. The chapter kicks off with Papa home for a bit, and let me tell you, he's like the tank of this family squad, strong, wise, and ready to protect. But life's not all sunshine and XP points. Money's tighter than skinny jeans after Thanksgiving, and the Logans are stressing about the mortgage on their land. You know, that patch of dirt that's basically their whole identity? Yeah, losing it would be like a gamer losing their save file. Cassie's there, soaking it all in, and she's learning what it means to fight for something bigger than herself. Then, we've got this absolute bombshell moment when Uncle Hammer rolls in. This dude's got swag. He pulls up with a shiny new Packard, flexing harder than a Pokemon trainer with a deck full of legendaries. But it's not just about showing off, he's proving a point. He's like, yeah, I can have nice things, too, even in a world that tries to keep us down. Cassie's starry-eyed, thinking, okay, Uncle Hammer is GOAT material. But Mama and Papa are low-key sweating, because in this racially charged world, a black man flaunting wealth is like waving a red flag in front of a bull. Dangerous. And then we get to that talk. Papa sits the kids down and starts dropping wisdom like he's the Yoda of this story. He's all about family sticking together, staying smart, and holding on to their land no matter what. It's not just a pep talk, it's like he's giving them cheat codes to survive in a game that's straight up unfair. Cassie's listening, but you can tell her brain's buzzing with questions. She's still figuring out the rules of this messed up system, and she's not about to take a LS without a fight. Now, Uncle Hammer's not just here to chill. He's ready to drop some cash to help the fam, and it's touching, really, because it's not just money, it's love, it's pride, it's the ultimate I got your back. But there's tension, too. Papa's cautious, telling him not to go overboard, because staying under the radar is key. It's like when you're sneaking through a stealth game, one wrong move, and you're caught. Uncle Hammer, though? He's all stealth. Nah, I'm going in guns blazing. In the middle of all this, Cassie's still replaying her epic showdown with Lily and Jean from the last chapter. She's got this secret satisfaction bubbling up inside, like when you finally pull off a sick combo in Street Fighter. But here's the thing, she's also learning how to keep quiet about her wins. Papa and Mama are teaching her the art of subtlety, which is tough when you're a kid full of righteous fire. Oh, and let's not forget Stacy. My guy is stuck in this awkward spot, balancing his own struggles with trying to be the man of the house while Papa's away. He's learning, slowly but surely, that being a leader isn't about showing off, it's about stepping up when it matters. Then there's this heart-to-heart moment that just hits. Papa tells the kids about the time he nearly lost their land, and it's raw, emotional, and real. He's like, this land? It's not just dirt. It's freedom. It's proof that we can stand on our own. It's the kind of speech that makes you want to grab a sword and shout, for the kingdom. But in this case, the kingdom is their tiny piece of farmland. The chapter wraps up with everyone in the family holding on tighter to what they've got, each other, their dreams, their stubborn hope. There's no epic battle, no fireworks, but it's one of those moments that builds up the tension for whatever's coming next. You just know the Logan crew is gearing up for some next-level challenges, and they'll face it together like the ultimate co-op team. So yeah, Chapter 7 is all about keeping your head in the game, your heart in the right place, and your eyes on the prize. The Logans aren't flashy, but they're fierce, and they're teaching us that sometimes, the strongest power-up isn't what you earn, it's who's got your back when the chips are down. Okay, buckle up, because Chapters 8 and 9 of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry are packed with all the feels, drama, and lessons that hit harder than an emotional final boss fight. Cassie, Stacy, and the whole Logan fam are still hustling to survive in this mess of a world, and things get even more intense. Let's go full tilt into the recap, no chill, all action. We start with Cassie still riding high on her big brain revenge moment against Lily and Jean, from when she turned that pretend to be her friend plot into a straight-up Death Note level takedown. She's feeling like a low-key genius, but keeping it cool because she knows the stakes. Life isn't fair, and even though she scored a W, she has to move carefully. She's learning the delicate art of outsmarting people without leaving evidence, which is honestly giving stealth mission energy. Meanwhile, the vibe at school is getting weirder. Mama's out here trying to teach truth bombs about history, like, the real history, not the sugar-coated lies they print in the books. She's all about empowering her students, but the school board? Oh, they are not having it. These guys are basically the villains of this arc, plotting to keep people down because they know knowledge is power. Mama gets called out for her teaching, and, spoiler alert, they fire her. That's right, gone. Yeeted out of her job because she dared to challenge the system. When the news drops, the whole family is gutted. Cassie is mad, like ready to throw hands mad, but Mama stays strong, even though you can tell it hurts. She's all about the long game, teaching the kids resilience while the world throws punches. Then, things go from bad to worse, because here comes TJ Avery, the walking red flag. This boy is out here scheming and snitching like it's his part-time job. He's hanging around with the Sims brothers, yeah, those Simses, aka the human equivalent of malware. TJ thinks he's leveling up by rolling with these clowns, but really, he's putting himself on the fast track to a world of hurt. Stacy tries to warn him, like, bro, don't do this. They're not your friends, but TJ is too busy chasing clout to listen. Watching him make these bad decisions is like screaming at a horror movie character to not open the creepy door, but they do it anyway. And then, the Wallaces. These guys are the ultimate trolls of this story. They're racist, cruel, and always lurking, trying to cause problems. The Logans are trying to boycott their store, and while some folks in the community are all in, others are too scared to make waves. It's one of those stick together or fall apart moments, and you can feel the tension building. Papa is out there hustling to get people to join the boycott, risking everything to stand up for what's right. Seriously, the man is a legend, like Gandalf if Gandalf worked in the fields and fought racism. But let's talk about Stacy for a sec. My guy is having a rough time. He's stuck between being a kid and stepping up as the man of the house when Papa's away. It's like watching someone play a game on nightmare difficulty with no saves. Stacy tries to keep TJ in check and protect the fam, but he's also figuring out how to navigate his own growing pains. You can tell he's learning that being a leader isn't about being perfect, it's about doing your best even when the odds are trash. And then there's this moment where we see Cassie starting to understand the world in a deeper way. She's realizing that life is more complicated than just good guys versus bad guys. It's about strategy, patience, and knowing when to fight and when to hold back. Papa and Mama are teaching her that survival is its own kind of rebellion, and honestly, it's giving Attack on Titan fight for freedom vibes. Chapter 9 cranks up the tension even more. Papa, Stacy, and Mr. Morrison head out to Vicksburg for some business, because, the Logan family never gets a break. On the way back, they get ambushed by some shady dudes who are clearly trying to send a message. The wagon's sabotaged, and Papa ends up with a busted leg. It's bad, like, you're lucky to be alive bad. Stacy blames himself because he let the horse get spooked, but honestly? This isn't on him. This is pure villain energy from the Wallaces and their crew, trying to scare the Logans into submission. And let's talk about Mr. Morrison for a hot second. This guy is the tank of the group. He's quiet, but when things go down, he's all action. He basically saves everyone's lives in the ambush, throwing hands like a pro and making sure Papa and Stacy get home safe. If this were a video game, Mr. Morrison would be the OP character everyone wants in their party. When they get back, the mood is heavy. Papa's injury means he can't work the fields, and the family is suddenly staring down a mountain of problems. How are they going to keep the land? How are they going to pay the mortgage? The pressure is real, and the stakes are higher than ever. But even in the middle of all this, the Logans don't give up. They're scared, sure, but they're not broken. Cassie's watching all of this, and you can tell it's shaping her worldview. She's realizing that being strong isn't just about standing up in the moment, it's about enduring, even when the hits keep coming. It's about holding on to hope and family when everything else is falling apart. The Logans are like, you can knock us down, but we'll keep getting back up, and honestly? That's the kind of energy we all need sometimes. The chapter ends with this heavy sense of foreboding, like the calm before the storm. You just know things are going to get worse before they get better, but the Logans are ready. They've got each other, and that's their ultimate power-up. It's not flashy, but it's strong, stronger than the hate and fear that's coming for them. So yeah, chapters 8 and 9? They're a lot. It's like watching your favorite underdog team get wrecked over and over, but you're still rooting for them because you know they've got heart. The Logans are fighting a battle on every front, against racism, against fear, against poverty, and they're doing it with grit, love, and a whole lot of determination. If that's not main character energy, I don't know what is. Alright, let me break down chapters 10 and 11 of Roll of Thunder, hear my cry for you in the most hype, modern way possible. Imagine it's a dramatic anime arc, but instead of swords and magic, it's family, survival, and a whole lot of real-world drama. So grab your snacks and let's dive in. The vibe starts heavy. The Logans are dealing with that big L from the last chapter. Papa's leg is still messed up, and now the family's finances are more busted than a Joy-Con after a Smash Brothers marathon. The land is still on the line, and the stress is real. The Logan parents are trying to keep the kids' spirits up, but Cassie's no fool. She can feel the tension in the air, like when you're playing Among Us and someone's acting sus but won't admit it. Everyone's pretending they're fine, but the vibes? Off. And just when you think things can't get more sus, here comes TJ again. This boy is out here making terrible life choices like it's a competition. He's rolling deeper with the Sims brothers, RW and Melvin, who are basically the walking definition of bad influences. These dudes are the kind of fake friends who hype you up just to watch you crash. They're leading TJ into some sketchy schemes, and he's eating it up like it's the secret to leveling up in life. Stacy tries to intervene, like, bro, what are you even doing? But TJ's too deep in his own cloud-chasing spiral to listen. Meanwhile, the Wallaces are still lurking in the background, like villains in a stealth mission. They're trying to crush the Logan family any way they can, and they're not even being subtle about it. These guys are dirty, petty, and dangerous, the kind of enemies who play dirty just for the fun of it. And honestly, the tension is giving end-of-season final battle vibes, like you know something's about to go down, but you don't know when or how. Then we get to this super emotional moment where Papa and Mama are talking about the land again. Papa's like, no matter what, we hold on to this land. It's our pride, our freedom, our everything. It's one of those speeches that hits you right in the feels. Cassie's listening in, and you can tell she's starting to really get it. The land isn't just dirt, it's the thing that gives the family their backbone, their independence. It's the one thing that no one can take from them if they fight hard enough. Cassie's got that fire in her eyes now, like she's ready to go full shonen protagonist to protect what's hers. And then, chapter 11? Phew, it's like the plot just got a turbo boost. TJ shows up at the Logan's house late at night, looking like he just lost a fight with life itself. He's beaten up, scared, and mumbling about some massive disaster that went down. Turns out, TJ got roped into one of the Sims brothers' wild schemes. These fools broke into a store and tried to rob it, and when things went south, they left TJ holding the bag. Literal anime betrayal vibes. TJ thought they were his ride-or-die crew, but they turned out to be trash-tier NPCs who'd throw him under the bus without blinking. Cassie and her siblings are standing there, jaws on the floor, trying to process this hot mess. Stacy, being the ride-or-die big bro that he is, decides to help TJ even though he knows it's risky. The squad sneaks TJ back to his house, but things are already spiraling out of control. Word about the robbery is spreading faster than spoilers on Twitter, and the townspeople are out for blood. TJ's family is in danger, and it's clear that no one cares about facts, they just want someone to blame. And let's not forget the Sims brothers. These two snakes are out there acting all innocent, playing the part of good OL boys while letting TJ take the fall. It's infuriating, and Cassie knows it. She's standing there like, this is so unfair, but she also knows that the world isn't fair. This moment is like a hard slap of reality for her, one that shows how deep the injustice runs. The chapter ends with this gut punch of a cliffhanger. The mob's energy is getting darker and more dangerous, and the Logan kids are left wondering if they've done enough, or if they've just made things worse by getting involved. The stakes are sky high, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a Minecraft sword. So yeah, chapters 10 and 11? They're straight up wild. It's betrayal, bravery, and big lessons all rolled into one. The Logans are holding on to their humanity and their morals in a world that's stacked against them, and it's honestly inspiring. Cassie's learning that sometimes you've got to pick your battles carefully, and Stacy's stepping up as the quiet MVP of the family. TJ, though? He's a walking cautionary tale about bad choices and worse friends. It's a tough ride, but the Logan family is showing us what it means to stand strong when the whole world seems to be falling apart. Alright, chapter 12 of Roll of Thunder, hear my cry? Strap in, because this finale is wild, like final battle in an action RPG wild. Everything that's been bubbling under the surface finally pops off, and it's as intense as a speedrun through Dark Souls with no armor. Let's break it down. So, remember how TJ messed up big time in the last chapter? Yeah, his situation goes from bad to absolute nightmare mode. A whole angry mob rolls up to the Avery house, and these guys aren't here for a friendly chat. They're ready to lay down some vigilante justice that's got zero chill and even less fairness. It's horrifying, like a real-life raid boss that no one can defeat, and it's all because TJ got set up by the Sims brothers. These jerks are out there living their best two-faced lives while TJ's taking the fall harder than a rookie in Fall Guys. Cassie and her siblings? They're low-key panicking. Stacy's trying to help TJ without getting her own family caught in the crossfire, and Cassie's starting to realize just how ugly the world can be. This isn't just unfair, it's a full-on, next-level injustice, and it's hitting her hard. But there's no time to process, because things are escalating fast. It's like watching a runaway minecart in Minecraft barreling toward disaster. And then, boom, nature steps in, as if the universe itself is like, y'all need to chill. Lightning cracks, and a fire breaks out in the cotton fields. It's chaos everywhere. But instead of letting the mob's anger consume the Avery family, everyone has to come together to fight the fire. It's an insane twist that forces people to drop their weapons and actually work together for a hot second. Imagine a Naruto battle where the bad guys suddenly decide to team up to save the village. It's that level of unexpected. Papa and Mr. Morrison step up like the heroes they are, working non-stop to stop the fire from wiping out everything. Stacy's in the thick of it, too, proving once again that he's got that quiet, clutch energy when it counts. Cassie's watching all of this go down, and you can practically see her perspective shift in real time. She's learning that the fight for justice isn't just about the big moments, it's also about surviving and protecting the people you love, even when the odds are stacked against you. By the end, the fire's out, but the scars? They're deep. TJ is taken away, his future looking bleak, and Cassie realizes that even though her family survived this round, the battle is far from over. The land is still theirs, for now, and the Logan family's bond is stronger than ever, but Cassie's innocence? Yeah, that's gone. She's stepping into the next stage of her life with her eyes wide open, ready for whatever's next. It's a bittersweet, mic drop ending that leaves you shook.